Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, I think I opened up a can of worms. The other day I was watching a YouTube video of a well-known YouTube channel that I follow quite a bit. And in this video, he was discussing the differences between a cap and ball revolver and a cartridge revolver. Which one is actually the best? And in his video, he argued that the cap and ball was better than the cartridge revolver, simply because with a cap and ball revolver, you could load all 6 chambers and then drop that hammer in between 2 loaded chambers. Then you could safely carry the revolver. So if the revolver fell out of your holster and the hammer is to hit the ground or another hard object, it's not gonna discharge. You won't have an accidental discharge. But with the cartridge revolver, the standard practice was to only load 5, then drop that hammer on an empty cylinder, because there was no way to drop the hammer between 2 loaded, not cylinders, chambers. There was no way to drop the hammer between 2 loaded chambers on a cartridge Colt revolver. So the common practice back then was to load 5 and keep the hammer over a empty chamber. Well, there is a safety on the Colt single 6 cartridge revolvers, and that's simply to bring the hammer back to the first position where it locks. So that keeps the hammer off your firing pin, off of a primer. But if your revolver was to fall out of your holster and strike something hard, it's going to still drive that hammer forward and you're going to have an accidental discharge. So I'm not calling the guy out on this. All I'm asking is if there was any historical documentation that states that people actually carried only 5 rounds in a single 6 cartridge revolver for safety reasons, or did they just bring the load 6 and bring the hammer back to the first position? So I'm not calling the guy out. I just want proof. I'm asking because of all people, this guy probably has references he can direct me to, because I've been called out on this, because I always thought that's how the old timers did it, and people called me out on it, and I started doing research, and I can't find any research, historical research, that says that's actually how the old timers did it. So, like I said, I'm not calling this guy out. I'm hoping he has the resources to say, hey, here it is, blah, 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 this was stated in 1876, this was stated in 1878, the Colt manual states it, Colt advertisement states it, something like that. I just want actual proof, and that's all I'm asking for. So I'm not calling this channel the guy out. But his followers, here are some of their responses. So my question basically is, do you have any reference source to back up the load 5? This is some of the responses from his followers. The channel has not responded to my question yet. I hope he will. But anyways, here's one of the responses. I mean, Hickok 45 did a video about it where he demonstrated a light bump on the hammer making the gun go off. Yeah, I know. That's not my question. Not a lot of help there, buddy. But by God, he had 14 supporters for that, his response. Oh, excuse me, 13 supporters for his response. Still did not answer my question. Here's another one. I've heard walking around you load 5. Know you're going into a fight? Load 6. Okay, still no answer to my question. And then a couple of them had referred to the Billy the Kid Grant fight. So evidently, if you're not familiar with that, Billy the Kid walked up to this guy, Joe Grant, and asked to see Grant's revolver. he said, I admire your revolver, man. Take a look at it. And Grant's like, here, take a look at it. Hand it to Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid either removed some cartridges, depending on the story you read. He removed some cartridges from the revolver, or else Grant's revolver was only loaded with 3 cartridges to begin with. So Billy the Kid manipulated the cylinders, handed it back to Grant, called Grant out, whatever. Grant pulled his pistol on Billy the Kid, pulled the hammer back. And then Billy the Kid shot him. And on top of that, a lot of historical scholars say the story is just a story. It never did happen. But let's say if it did happen, why would a guy carry a revolver with only 3 cartridges in it? So either he was dumb and he just had 3 cartridges in it, or Billy the Kid actually slipped some cartridges out of the revolver when Grant wasn't looking and handed the revolver back to Grant. So still no support for my question. It's just, I thought it was a simple question, but evidently it's not. So, oh, I got called a spreg. What's a spreg? I'm a spreg because this dude didn't answer my question. I said, yeah, that's not my question. So that's not an answer to my question. So he calls me a spreg. I don't know what a spreg is. But anyways, so if anybody out there has any resources that they can direct me to, some factual resources, not, well, Billy the Kid, or, well, they say, if you have any physical documentation, historical documentation, please let me know, because I don't know and I want to know. So, alright, that's my little rant. So, thanks for watching. And yes, I do follow the load 5 in a cartridge revolver, unless I'm at the firing line. At the firing line, I'm going to load 6, and I'm going to bam, 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 bam. I'm going to bust 6 caps. If I'm on my horse, I definitely load 5, keep the hammer over a empty chamber. I even do that with ball and cap just for, added safety. So I'm not arguing against the principle. I just want facts to support the principle. Did they really carry their cartridge revolvers with only 5 loaded chambers? So if you have any proof of this and you can direct me to that, much appreciated. And I'm hoping this channel will eventually respond to me, because it's a reliable channel, and I figured this would be the guy to tell me, hey, here's the source, look it up. But no response yet. So, alright, thanks for watching. Take care. Safe shooting.
This is the West, sir. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. He's right, Rance.